Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video. So we got a bunch of events announced here for Global Dokkan. I thought it seemed a little bit early, but it's just that Global, for the anniversary, they start the part 2 a little bit early. Although the summonable banners seem to typically be at kind of like a similar time frame to actually when JP is. So we have several events announced, right? We could go through a lot of these. I would think that we're probably going to see... So Global, again, kind of skips over a week that JP had. Like, JP, Gogeta, and Broly were on the 28th of January. I might as well just scroll up in the calendar to show this. So, okay, I can't go very fast, apparently. Thank you. Getting a new PC was the worst decision of my life. So, Gogeta and Broly came out on the 28th on JP, and then I believe part 2 started on... Let me double check. Alright, so, yeah, Broly and Gogeta were on the 28th of January, and then it's the 11th where part 2 actually started right here. So for Global, this is all like a full week, like, pressed up. And they kind of skipped over where the EZAs for Broly, Chila and Lemo, Broly and Paragus, and Bardock and Guine would come out. And then the same day as part 2 dropped for JP for the anniversary, that's when we get these stages, which were just announced on Global, but then also Blue Kaioken Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta. So what I'm thinking is probably going to happen is all 4 EZAs would probably be potentially right here at the start of part 2, along with all the other events and stuff like that we could take a look at. So we have the new... Ultimate Thrilling Battle stage is going to drop. I have that right here. In terms of, like, the enemy, like, the stats and stuff like that, I don't think are really the biggest deal. 800k damage is pretty low, but there is a ton of missions that you have to do, right? So you have to beat it 10 times. You got to use full Extreme Team, full Superclass Team, full Power characters, Android characters, Fusion characters, Resurrected Warrior, Majin Power, Super Saiyan 3, Wicked Bloodline, Realm of Gods, Super Saiyan, Saiyan Saga. You have to do just a ton of different missions to actually get that done. But it's decent. I mean, I don't mind the mission-based content Dokkan is doing. I don't think there's really too much of an issue there. So there's that event, which is coming. There's the new stages added to the Frieza story event. You'll be able to awaken Frieza. In part 3, you'll be able to EZA Frieza, and stages drop where you can get exclusive equips for the Frieza. So you don't want to give this guy skill orbs or equips because he gets his own exclusive really good equips, which are really good because it's like, you know, huge defense plus stats and stuff like that. So, you know, part 3 is when this guy becomes, like, you know, what he's going to be. Same thing with Sleepy Beerus. Now, on JP, there was some issue or some problem where the actual new stages for the part 3, which includes the skill orbs, were actually a little bit late. But you guys are going to be able to awaken Beerus into the Pajama Beerus character, and then he's going to EZA in part 3. And again, there will be stages that you can get exclusive equips for him as well. Although I am not a fan of those, I would probably recommend a full dodge build if you're going to seriously use Pajamas Beerus, but yeah, there's that. We have 3 new stages of Supreme Magnificent Battle. Now, this is a little bit... And then we also have a couple of Super Battle Road stages. It's a little bit deceiving here, because there's 3 stages. The first one is Trunks, the second is Vegeta, and the third is UI Goku. UI Goku is not even close to the difficulty level of Trunks. Trunks is so much harder than the other 2 fights. So even though if we take a look at it, there's going to be numerous missions here. So, where is it? We're looking for, so beat stage 4, beat stage 5, beat stage 6. Stage 6 is the UI Goku. And then right here, use a full Extreme Team to actually beat UI Goku. And then, oh, is that it? It's just the one mission? It's just the one mission. Yeah, just a full Extreme Team to beat UI Goku. I mean, this is one of those things that maybe would have been a little bit more challenging. Like it was, you know, maybe it was a little bit challenging back, you know, during the JP anniversary. But obviously, Global, I mean, has got all the Majin Power characters, Physical Rose, right? You know, well, yeah, I guess those are the kind of like early. You could use Majin Power and crush this. Now, by the way, for a mission like this, so it's Extreme AGL, Extreme Tech, Extreme Int, Extreme STR, Extreme Physical. That last character could be like a superclass character. So you could use Majin Power with Mr. Boo, right? Or you could use, I mean, this will be more relevant a little bit later on in the anniversary, but you could use the Broly team and then just like add Beast Gohan to it. That's what a lot of people are doing for some of the missions later on against like Beast Gohan and stuff like that, right? Beast Gohan is stage 8. This one could be challenging a bit, but it's the same thing. You could do the full Extreme team plus Beast Gohan, and that will still qualify for the mission. That's a strategy people use. That's why I was heavily encouraging global players to summon for Broly. I was saying it constantly. Getting Broly is a really good idea based on the mission-based content that Dokkan does. Gogeta's flashy, Gogeta's fly, Gogeta's the swaggiest. He's on a better team, all this stuff, that's true. But Broly is actually going to be much better for the content that you're going to have to do. That's why I was very much heavily insinuating that I thought players should go for Broly. Because he has easily one of the top 5 best leader skills. With, you know, transformation boost and full power, this covers most characters that come out. And then he also does have super bosses as well. So, all right, just quickly talking about the fights. I mean, I should also mention again, so if we go back here on the JP Wiki, page 3, so, again, Broly and Paragus, Broly, Chad, Lemo, and then Bardock and Gine, right? These 3 characters came out on JP in between part 1 and 2. But again, Global pushes part 2 up a full week, right? And then Blue Kaioken Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta, they dropped on JP the same day as part 2. So I do think we could see all 4 of those characters dropping. Another reason I was encouraging players to aim for Broly is this character, they're better than Gogeta, flat out, until Gogeta transforms into Blue. And really, even more so, like, it's just, like, this character is just way better until Gogeta actually gets his active up. So that's another reason I was just very adamant that Gogeta, to me, did feel kind of skippable. Gogeta and the Gammas felt like you could completely skip them. But Broly and Beast are must-haves as part of the anniversary. This is, I mean, I'm, you know, Mr. Defense. I like dodging. I like guard and damage reduction and sealing and healing and all these stats. But this character's just flat-out ridiculously fun. Because with them now creating rainbow orbs, they are consistent, which is so good for them, right? You just get them their 3 or 4 rainbow orbs, you get them the 24 key, and they are a buzzsaw wiping out everything in front of them. They are a great, great character. So I do expect we'll see all 4 of the EZAs in the data download tomorrow, but I mean, remember, we are always open to global shenanigans. So the Vegeta fight is really nothing crazy. I typically just use this as an initial showcase stage. This is very low damage turn 1, nothing to be scared of. He does seal, which I guess could, you know, mess with kind of like build up characters. Then right here for phase 2, this 80% defensive debuff Vegeta carries makes this 1.7 feel more like 2.5 or something like that. Like, this Vegeta will hit hard, but it's just 2 phases. He has massive cooldowns, no toxic gimmicks. Vegeta's just not really too crazy. Kind of the same thing with UI Goku. He's just pathetic. This is pathetic. This is just not, you know, 9th level anniversary damage at the start of these fights. You could do all these debuffs to him these first couple of phases. This is still very pathetic, a huge cooldown. Then you get to UI Sign Goku. His damage gets a little bit more relevant. He's super in for what, like 1.9-ish, right? He does get the attack buff, so his normals could do a little bit of damage. He is immune to everything, and he does change key spheres. But, I mean, he's got the big cooldown. He's just not, you know, as scary as he could be. And then this guy, I mean, he's just, like, this guy should be super in for, like, 2.5 million or something like that. Like, he just is not as strong as he should be damage-wise. He does get the attack buff right there, which is something to always be mindful of. And he does seal as well, which, maybe your character could tank very well in slot 1, but then they get sealed, they can't do damage. So that's always a pain in the ass. I have found that this guy does feel like he dodges a lot. It says 5%, but, I mean, isn't Battlefield Metal Cooler at like 5 or 10% or some nonsense like that? Sure feels a lot harder than that. Now, Trunks is a real problem. So Trunks is not really too scary at the start. Again, this is just low damage at this point. First phase is nothing of note. But then you get into the second phase, and he guaranteed locks. So it is a very common thing. I've had this happen many times, where a character like the LR Gammas, LR Physical Blue Cow Kengoku, and Evolution Blue Vegeta will start in slot 7. They get locked immediately in slot 1, supered immediately, and insta-killed with no counterplay besides hidden potential system dodge or using items. So this Trunks is nasty. His damage is not the craziest, but he does lock. So he could lock a weak character in slot 1 to where it's, like his low damage, it, doesn't feel like it. The other thing, too, is because you get to this locking phase so early, you don't have time to set up before you get to him. It's kind of like opening rotation RNG is huge in this fight. Trunks also does carry 7 million defense, so you'll either want to defensive debuff him, which you can, or get crits, which will ignore his defense. Keep in mind, he does actually raise his defense as well when he supers. But again, crits will just straight up ignore defense. That's why, even though Blue Cow Kengoku and Evolution Blue Vegeta can get insta-killed in here, they also can terrorize this guy with their guaranteed crits and their defensive debuffs, which they have on both super attack effects that they have. So, they can terrorize Trunks if he doesn't lock him in slot 1 and kill them. And Trunks can double super. So this guy supering in slot 1, supering in slot 3 is a real concern. Like, this is a very tough fight. Then you get to this guy. This is like, I mean, I guess Kid Buu is a bit scarier, like fully built up Kid Buu in terms of damage, but Trunks has the massive super attack rate. So Trunks will almost always super attack immediately. He's supering for over 3 million damage because he gets 100% attack right here. Then his normals are at like 1.5 million normals. He guaranteed stuns whichever character's in slot 1. He is just a major significant threat. Depending upon how the fight goes, transform Blue Gogeta with his active can one-turn this Trunks. Trunks is balanced. He does not have a lot of HP. A killer character, transform Broly, Blue Cow Ken, Evolution Blue Vegeta, transform Blue Gogeta can wipe this guy out in 1 second. But he is always gonna super first, pretty much. The other gimmick about Trunks, by the way, this Trunks right here can only super attack in slot 1. So if he doesn't super in slot 1, he's not supering. And what makes him scary is not necessarily the 3 million damage from a super, but it's this right here. Because this makes his normals hit for 1.5 million, which, again, he's doing 1.5 million normals. So Trunks will be a very tough fight. I think Kid Buu is probably a little bit tougher than Trunks, but this is certainly a very scary kind of fight that is going to be happening. Let me just quickly double check. So, yeah, when I did a difficult fight tier list, this was only a couple of days ago, so there's no time for anything to change. Yeah, like he's pretty close right there to that Kid Buu fight, which is, of course, on global. Then the Gogeta Blue fight and Cell Max come, kind of a little bit later on in the anniversary. And then, obviously, this is a Tanabata fight right there. So, let me know what you guys think of all of the events coming to Global Dokkan. Global players, I love you guys. Mwah!